Whoa. What's this? A Sonic Frontiers review in 2023? Aren't I a wee late to the party?
Yes I am.
Well, I must say I'm very impressed.
But wait, I've got a good reason for it. There's tons of Frontiers reviews out there, but it's all covering the game in its launch state last November, and then subsequent videos later covered the 3 content updates that appeared over the past year that fleshed the game out further. And some of these updates significantly changed the game. So, I got an idea. What if I instead reviewed Sonic Frontiers, the full package? Now that Update 3, the biggest and beefiest free expansion, is out, Sonic Frontiers has basically hit the end of its road and is now more or less finished. And I bet a lot of people are wondering what the game is like now, with all of its tweaks, additions, and new modes. Maybe you haven't gotten the game yourself yet, or considering buying it for little Timmy for the Christmas season. Or yourself, no judging. Then this video is gonna be for you, son. Follow me as I review what I'm calling Sonic Frontiers, the Definitive Edition. Sonic Frontiers. Quite the ambitious project you are. Meant to be the game to set the template for future Sonic games going forward, Frontiers marks the Hedgehog's transition from linear point A to point B platforming to sprawling open world gameplay. What's that? That's what it's called? Oh, I'm sorry. Open zone, that's what they want to call it. Welcome to the mysterious Starfall Islands, diverse clumps of land that was once the home of a mysterious alien race known as the Ancients. When Dr. Eggman activates the long-dormant technology lying within, Sonic and his friends get sucked into a digital dimension known as cyberspace. With Sonic the only one able to move freely between reality and cyberspace, he must collect the Chaos Emeralds, defeat the massive titans lurking throughout each island, and save his friends. All the while coming to blows with a mysterious AI named Sage, who insists Sonic's efforts will only bring upon further calamity. As the story suggests, the gameplay loop of Sonic Frontiers involves collecting the Chaos Emeralds to face a big boss waiting at the end of each island, then rinse and repeat for each one. How you go about that, though, is really up to you. The core concept of Sonic Frontiers is freedom. Not just freedom of movement to go anywhere and do anything at your own leisure, but freedom to progress the story in many ways suited to your playstyle. There is no one way to complete Sonic Frontiers. The game recommends you to collect Chaos Emeralds in this way. Throughout the islands are mini-bosses known as Guardians. Defeat those to get Portal Gears. Portal Gears unlock cyberspace gates, allowing you to partake in traditional high-speed Sonic platforming levels like the games before. Completing objectives in cyberspace, like completing a certain time or gathering collectibles in the stage, grants Vault Keys. And Vault Keys unlock Chaos Emeralds, and Chaos Emeralds unlock the Titan boss fight, where you get to fight enemies as Super Sonic for the first time since 2011, and it is glorious! Oh, we'll get to that soon, I'll say that much. In addition, some Chaos Emeralds are locked behind interactions with your imprisoned friends, which you can talk to by collecting memory tokens scattered throughout the islands. But like I said before, freedom. This is hardly the only way you can get everything I described. Maybe you don't like cyberspace, or you're too underleveled to face Guardians and you don't want to grind for new skills, or getting 200 or so memory tokens is just way too tedious. The game's got your back. Sometimes you'll find Vault Keys by destroying Guardians. Sometimes gears and keys can be found on the map just lying around. If you're low on resources, collect purple coins and do some fishing with Big the Cat, yes he's back, and you can trade fish for literally anything you need. Can't find purple coins? Wait every few nights for Starfall, a random event where you can hoard tons of them. Don't want to fish, but you still want the resources from Big? There's literally a free DLC crossover with Monster Hunter, where you can cook meat for Big. You can now apologize to this man, Sonic fans. Hell, you can just run around in circles to get memory tokens and level ups if you're so inclined. Everything you do in Sonic Frontiers will get you one step closer to your objective. There is no true way to complete this game. You can truly personalize it to your liking. How much can you personalize it? Well, you can even personalize Sonic himself with a few different costumes, redecorate the islands with birthday decor, snap photos and make your own masterpieces, collect music notes to change the music on the islands to some of Sonic's greatest hits. You can even customize the controls. By default, Sonic is very responsive and fluid, and you can choose in menus how fast he goes. He can stop on a dime, but also he doesn't exactly carry any momentum once you jump. His responsiveness comes at the sacrifice of being able to use your speed in unique ways. But with a few tweaks in the menu, you can turn on momentum, allowing Sonic's own speed to carry you in the air. You can do some insane tricks to go completely airborne and maximize your maneuverability, making the game so much more fun to play. Then, you can turn it off for more precise platforming. You can even unlock the spin dash near the end of the game, providing even more opportunities to break the game wide open in the best ways possible. Sonic has not controlled any better in the open zone. Cyberspace, however, is a little too stiff, but some of your customization can still affect it too, making them much more fun to play. I honestly really like Cyberspace, and I get these bite-sized bursts of classic Sonic action that break the gameplay loop nicely, and reward you handsomely for mastering them. Each island comprises of different kinds of biomes, each with their own myriad of platforming challenges, both 2D and 3D to conquer, and all of them are unique. Most of them are unique, and to traverse and battle all the foes you meet on the island, Sonic comes equipped with new combat skills. Yes, this game has some button-mashy action where you can just go to town on enemies with style. It's not as robust as, say, the Werehog from Sonic Unleashed, who had tons of combos at his exposure. It's pretty simple here, and not at all like Devil May Cry or something. But to someone like me who just enjoys spamming one or two buttons and sees Sonic stylishly go to town on these guys, it gets my monkey brain all happy, so I'll take it. And it all comes ahead with those Titan fights. Oh man, these Titan fights. Never before has Sonic looked so cool, so anime. This is the kind of spectacle that was missing from the series for years. And this game gave us them all in full force. He's facing massive, hulking robots reflecting missiles with backhands, throwing them into mountains and pushing them into the stratosphere. It's amazing, and all complemented by the music. Oh. Sonic always has great music, and this is no different. And there is such a variety in song selection too, from moody and ambient, to electronic, to heavy metal screamo rock. There are songs for everyone in this game. Combine the base game soundtrack with the new contents music and the jukebox's variety of retro songs, and you have over 250 different musical compositions to jam out to. And I didn't even talk about the story yet. Just like how Frontiers is a new evolution of the franchise gameplay-wise, same can go for the writing. For years, the franchise was looked down on by critics for being too self-serious in the early 2000s. The stories were ambitious, had heart, but it was hard for many classic or non-fans to get into them cause... well, let's see, we got these eldritch gods, guns, and the military shooting a young human child in the same universe as a cartoon blue rat. So Sega, of course, overcorrected, focusing on being a lot more cartoony, simple, and forsaking the established lore to be more newcomer and kid-friendly. And it worked for games like Colors, but eventually the fans yearned for the days where Sonic games had a lot more to say. So, it's time to correct the overcorrection. We are back to a more ambitious, moody, and somber tone. But not to the point where we're killing kids or anything, let's get that out of the way. But we got the hallmarks of eldritch deities, heavy world building, and actual continuity. Sonic comic writer and good Canadian kid Ian Flynn put his encyclopedic Sonic knowledge to good use to craft narratives, callbacks, and character arcs for nearly all of the Sonic cast that not only pushed them forward as people, but we also see them actually developed and acknowledge their shortcomings stemmed from the previous narrative direction. The past matters in building a new future, and that's what Sonic Frontiers is all about thematically. Honoring what has come before, be it lore or carrying on the memories of the ancients locked within cyberspace, but using it to push you forward. Memories, remembrance, honor, family, they're all themes the game covers. Amy is learning what she wishes to do in life as she learns of the unsung tragedy of the ancients. Knuckles ventures into the possibility that he doesn't always have to chain his life to one solemn duty. Tails learns it's okay to relapse during recovery and pick yourself up. Even Eggman learns compassion as he comes face to face with someone he could actually see as a daughter in Sage, and it's all justified with some of the most nuanced vocal performances yet. This, hands down, is a narrative that stands side to side with great Sonic stories like Unleashed and Black Knight, even if the endings are a bit lackluster. Yes, endings, plural. We'll get to that. Because right now, everything I have covered is about the main campaign for Sonic Frontiers, the story we have had for the better part of a year now. But this is only half the battle, cause now we're in for probably the real reason you tuned into this video. The biggest post-launch addition to the whole game. It's time we talk about the final horizon.
I know it's been rough, and things are confusing, but I need you guys to just follow my lead. No time to lose.
Thought the game's base ending was too rushed and not substantial enough for you? Don't worry, the devs thought so too. All of their ideas weren't able to be realized before the game's original deadline. But now, you have two options once you make it to the last island, to play the original ending, or to experience another story. An alternative outcome to the game's final events, where Sonic and friends have to gather the Chaos Emeralds one more time to take on a colossal threat in a revamped final island. There's a reason I have to emphasize "and friends" here as well, because not only do you get to play as Sonic, but for the first time in 17 years, you can play as Amy, Tails, and Knuckles in a 3D Sonic game, each with their own skill trees, stats, and challenges to overcome. And for the most part, while they need some getting used to, and a lot of leveling up to make them even viable, the characters can end up being quite fun. Amy comes decked out with tarot card attacks, not a lot of hammer stuff, weirdly, as well as a triple jump, glide, and the sickest Tokyo drift since Vin Diesel. Look at her go! Tails has no homing attack for some reason, but hey, he can fly, throw infinite wrenches, and summon his frickin' plane mech from Adventure 2. This hands down makes him one of the most fun characters to use, just on account that I can just fly anywhere, and turn the island into my playground. Knuckles has mediocre fighting, a drill dash, and a clunky as hell glide. Yeah, he's really not that good in comparison. But the variety is all well appreciated, and in a free update no less, it's really something to behold. The problem is they can only be played in Oranos Island. This revamped version of Oranos Island, mind you. And boy, oh boy, this island is where we get into issues. Sonic Frontiers is a janky game, I can't deny that. There are physics inconsistencies, unclear mechanics, and a fair share of weird camera bugs. But what allows you to shrug those quirks off and enjoy yourself is the game isn't exactly punishing. It's accommodating and forgiving enough where those minor issues are just that, minor. So the game can sometimes get the rap of being called too easy. Clearly, the developers have been listening to those people, while also not doing any playtesting at all. They looked at all the demented levels people upload in Mario Maker and decided, hey man, let's do that. Get ready for some of the most unforgiving, unresponsive, uncooperative, and borderline unfair platforming and combat you will ever see in a Sonic game. The leaps and bounds you are expected to do to complete some challenges, some with time limits no less that are not designed with Frontiers' jank in mind, and you won't be getting checkpoints. Nobody's holding your hand as the bulk of the game's issues are emphasized to the nth degree. And you think easy mode can save you? No. It may save you from a few challenges, but you'll still be in for quite a few painful trials that can only be conquered by looking up guides and spamming moves, because the game certainly won't tell you if certain strategies require to complete them. And don't say it's a skill issue or anything. If a game expects you to just spam the same exploits over and over just to break the system, that's not fair level design. That's just being dumb. Enemies in the final horizon are ridiculous damage sponges, even at level 99, where it isn't even fun to fight them anymore. They're so tanky, it makes Marvel's Avengers blush. This will put you to the test, and so much of it aside from cyberspace is mandatory to basic features like being able to swap between the new characters. One thing is being difficult as an optional bonus, the other is a sudden and very noticeable difficulty spike to do the bare minimum. Imagine 6-year-old Billy getting Frontiers for Christmas and being told he can't play as Tails anymore unless he fights 4 enemies with shields in 2 minutes while at level 1 with most of your skills removed. Have fun! Well, I ain't having fun here. This is Sonic Frontiers, not Mega Man and Bass. But I did it. Oh, I did it. And yes, the final boss you get at the end is really, really cool. But the journey to get there is joyless, tedious, and a borderline overcorrection to the complaints that the game was too easy. Next time, they need to fix what easy mode entails for those who want to experience the story, or at the very least to play as characters we might want to play as. And the sad thing too is the story that comes with this campaign ain't anything to write home about. The arcs we saw established in the base game with Knuckles and Amy are hardly acknowledged and sometimes flanderized. Vandalize my heart, more like flanderize my heart, am I right, boys? 90% of Knuckles' dialogue in this game is just punch, and Amy has almost nothing to do or say of importance. Tails fancied good though, he's actually really well written here. And maybe the narrative issues aren't that major if you're just playing the game from beginning to end after this update, but the near year-long wait for basically filling in a few plot holes is a bit disappointing when this is the perfect time for these characters to fulfill their self-actualization the game set out for them. There are even some scenes in the original ending that I think feel more emotionally potent, which are lost in the new campaign, so I suggest still playing both to experience them. In the end, it's still a free update and an optional addition to a great base game, so it's not like I should say this ruins Frontiers or anything, but it's a strong word of caution that if you're going to the Final Horizon thinking you'll have a nice fun time with Amy, Knuckles, and Tails, be ready, you're about to get whooped, and not in the good way. But all in all, despite the jank, poor endings, and frankly ludicrous stuff the Final Horizon expects of you, Sonic Frontiers is still a great game that is a positive first step towards the Hedgehog's future, both mechanically and narratively. The amount of freedom you have to experience the game your way means you'll never have the same experience twice, and all the updates provide new modes and unlockables that will guarantee that you'll be playing for a long while. And I hope the games only get better and better from this template from here. As such, Sonic Frontiers gets a
Savage!
So, what did you think? Did I sell you on the game, or do you already have it? Did you too suffer through Final Horizon like I have? Feel free to like, subscribe, and tell me your thoughts, and I'll catch you on the flip side.